time. Sean Hernandez. I knew him from Texas Wrestling. You are, without a doubt, the biggest piece of scumbag trash in wrestling. You gave me that border toss 3 different times, and 3 different times you dropped me on my head. What happened to Doug Williams at TNA Wrestling, I suffered that 3 different times, and never once did he ever apologize for it. Even after I was icing my neck in the back in the locker room, he didn't say a word to me about it. He did it 3 times. There's a RCW Wrestling, Riverside Wrestling in San Antonio. They were the ones that first gave me my first matches when I moved down there. And Hernandez was like my best buddy. It was a new talent in town. I was from MTV. Oh, buddy. I was his friend. I was putting him over, riding with him to some shows. And long as I was working the shows he was promoting, I was his best friend. And that company went out of business, so I started working for SCW Wrestling. And all of a sudden, a new promotion starts up again. It's a combination of different talent. And he's like, hey, Rory, can you no-show SCW tonight because we got a show? I'm like, I can't do that show. I'm on this show. I'll do the next show. He's like, no, you don't understand. You need to do this show. We put you on the last show, and we expect you to be a part of every show. No show that one. I'm sure they'll book you again. And after that, we were no longer friends again, and I never worked a show for him again. And one night, that River City Wrestling, they got their promotion and put it back together again. They had a show. The locker room was outside. It wasn't even inside the building, and it was nearby where I was living at that time down there. And I drove by, and I said, oh, there's some of my old friends. So, and ODB was there that night, too, so I wanted to say hi to her. I knew her from the old days in Steel Domain Wrestling in Minnesota. And he's watching the monitor, and I'm just joining the boys back there just watching because it wasn't a real locker room. And he looks at me, and he goes, what the fuck are you doing here? Get the fuck out of here. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm just here to say hi to some of the guys. Get the fuck out of here right now, motherfucker. Shoved me down in front of all the boys. Lance Hoyt was there, too. He got a good laugh out of it that night, so fuck him, too. He got a good laugh out of this, and this is when he was a big, scary guy. He was all juiced up, and God knows whatever else drugs he was on that night. But he had to show off in front of the boys. I was not there to cause any trouble. I was just there to say hi to some of the boys. He shoved me down in front of everybody, and, you know, I didn't get up and try to fight him because this is when he was big and jacked. This isn't the skinny, lean guy at the end of the TNA run or Lucha. He was a scary-ass dude. So I left, and nothing ever happened again, and that was it. And he never apologized. And, you know, I think karma has a way of coming around, and it did because, think about it, he had a chance to become TNA World Heavyweight Champion. He got to wrestle Sting. He got to wrestle Kurt Angle. He got a singles push. And you know what? He put on shitty matches with Sting and Kurt Angle. And I don't know how you do that. So that son of a bitch was carried by Homicide in LAX. He was always a tag team wrestler, and that's all he'll ever be. And he also said to me, oh, yeah, Rory, at least I got a contract. You know what? Congrats, you do. You're a big, jacked-up Hispanic wrestler, and I was just a undersized white guy from Midwest. Of course you're going to get an opportunity. But he's nothing more than a tag team wrestler. I laughed my ass off when they couldn't use his footage at TNA because he was still under contract to Lucha Underground. He lied to TNA and said he had a release, and guess what? They had to throw away that footage. And he doesn't have a job now, and he's never going to be that singles champion that they always thought he could be because he sucks. So anyway, that's my take on Hernandez.
It makes perfect sense, though, with with that story about what he did with Lucha Underground and what he did with TNA. I mean, it completely screwed himself over. But I mean, how do you not verify contracts with your income? And you can blame TNA for that too, though, for not double checking that. You know, and I mean that would be the first time that they got blamed for something. But
let's face it, they're not the most exactly organized company.
Well, we appreciate this, man, and thanks for telling us that story. And this is going to probably be